In the 10th year of liking Liu Ruyan, I asked for a divorce from him. The reason was that he didn't go home after get off work. I drove to his company to find him, but I saw him standing with a man downstairs of his company. I recognized at a glance that the man was Liu Ruyan's ex-boyfriend who had been entangled with him for 5 years. He stood on the steps. The man was handsome and tall in a suit, and the woman lifted her big waves and looked like a little bird. Obviously, there was no hand holding or hugging, but there was a kind of intimacy that no one else could get involved. I took a look at our chat history, and the message was still stuck on me asking him, "Are you coming back for dinner tonight?" He didn't reply. He hasn't replied to my message for a long time. Every time he asked, he was busy, but it turned out that he was not so busy when chatting with other men. I didn't go over, but just watched quietly. Ruyan's smile was a little strange, and I suddenly realized that he hadn't smiled at me for a long time. Obviously, we are the closest couple, but he always has a cold face when he comes back. I thought he was too tired from work, but it turned out that I was not the one who could make him laugh. He glanced casually, and the expression on his face froze. Then he said something to the man. The man's smile faded, but he still waved to him, looked at me, and turned away. Ruyan came over, opened the car door, and sat on the passenger seat. "What are you doing here?" I said calmly. "To pick you up from get off work." "Didn't you say that you would not let Jang Hee-kun join your company?" Ruyan's brows tightened. Jang Hee-kun graduated from Yale University and worked in Morgan Stanley on Wall Street for several years. "Where can I find such a talent? Why shouldn't I let him come?" He was a little impatient. "Can you stop thinking about love every day? Look at what he is like now. Several companies are vying for him. If I didn't know him, he might not come." The contempt in his words was not concealed. I looked at the traffic lights interweaving in the distance at night and said nothing. After arriving home, Liu Ruyan didn't talk to me. She entered the study and slammed the door. He was angry, but he didn't know it. He only used anger to cover up when he felt guilty. Perhaps only I, who had been with him for 10 years, could understand him so well. But sometimes I hated myself. Why did I know him so well? It was better to be confused than to be sober and painful. No one spoke first, and I didn't make a big fuss like usual. We were separated by a door. After a moment of silence, the door of the study was pushed open roughly. Ruyan said with a dark face, "What do you want? I tell you, I can't fire Jang Hee. Either accept it or we get divorced. No one can live without him. Chen Yi-kun, I tell you." I interrupted him and whispered, "No need to fire him. Let's get divorced." Ruyan paused. "What did you say?" He seemed to laugh in anger with a hint of sarcasm in the corners of his eyes and eyebrows. "Chen Yi-kun, I'm not kidding you. You're almost done. There's no room for negotiation on Jang Hee-kun. Don't say harsh words to me now, and then come back and cry and beg me," he said contemptuously, like a dog. Ruyan always spoke without thinking. The first time he quarreled with me like this, I locked myself in the room and didn't go out for a whole day. I felt my heart was broken, but now there is only a slight pain in my heart, which was soon replaced by numbness. I didn't argue with him. I took out the divorce agreement from my bag and put it on the table. "I have signed the agreement. The house belongs to you, and the cash and car belong to me, almost half each. If you have any other requirements, we can discuss it again." Ruyan was silent. He looked at me in disbelief, and then the suspicion turned into anger. He grabbed the agreement and glanced at it, and said coldly, "You have guts, Chen Yi-kun. I won't look back after signing it. Think it through." I handed him the pen, and Ruyan's face turned black in an instant. He snatched the pen from my hand, signed his name quickly, and threw the agreement in my face. Tomorrow we will get a divorce," he said angrily. "Whoever doesn't go is a grandson." I nodded. "I have made an appointment at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning." He was stunned, and I didn't say anything else. I closed the door and returned the guest. There was a sound of smashing things outside the door. I lit a cigarette, and the aroma of tobacco spread in the white mist. I took a deep breath. How did it get to this point? Obviously, I wanted happiness at the beginning. Ruyan and I had a flash marriage. For him, this relationship came abruptly, but for me, This was the 7th year that I had secretly loved him. At that time, he had just broken up with Jung Hee Kun. When they were together, I never bothered them. I only attended the party with him after the breakup. He drank a lot at that class reunion, and his eyes were red at the end. I knew him because of Jung Hee Kun. At that time, Jung Hee Kun had just received an admission letter from Yale University, but Liu Ryan had taken over his father's company and planned to develop in China. The two people could not convince each other. The couple who had been in love for 5 years finally parted ways after a big quarrel. When leaving, several friends knew that I had always liked her and winked at me to send her home. I had no choice but to take a taxi and help her halfway and half help her back home. Liu Rui impressed on me, and the hot and soft touch made me distracted. I didn't know where to put my hands, and I randomly freed my hands to press the switch. In the darkness, she drunkenly whispered in my ear, Kun. Was so vague that I didn't hear clearly and thought he was calling me. The hot breath with the smell of alcohol lingered in my ears, and my whole body froze. I couldn't control my reaction and didn't dodge when he kissed me. The next morning, Rui and calmed down, as if nothing had happened last night. I could only leave awkwardly. He didn't contact me again. I stayed at home for several days. Finally, I mustered up the courage and sent Rui in a WeChat message. Are you free today? Do you want to go to the movies together? Liu Rui didn't reply to me for a day. Just when I completely lost hope, he suddenly called me. There was no emotion in his voice on the phone. I'm pregnant, Chen Yi Kun. Let's get married. I still remember how I felt when I heard him say this. For the first time, I knew that heart blooming was such an appropriate word. It was as if fireworks exploded in my heart, which made me dizzy even more than winning the first prize. I suppressed my ecstasy and pretended to be calm and asked him, Do you like me? I don't want you to be with me just because of the child. Liu Rui was silent for a long time and avoided my question. Don't think too much, come to me later. After hanging up the phone, I clenched my hands tightly, and my mind was full of Liu Rui, 17 years old, wearing a high school uniform. Love is deep and lasting. I don't know when I fell in love with Liu Rui. When she smiled at me with her eyes curved during the evening self-study in high school, or when she put the milk tea on my desk and said, please, I only know that I have liked her for too long, just like a person walking alone in the dark night, finally seeing the dawn of dawn. Although his parents didn't like me, the betrothal gift was very high, and they made things difficult for me at the wedding, although the child was not kept in the end. But at that time, I really felt that I was the happiest person in the world. Being able to be with him turned the bitterness into sweetness. How stupid! In the dark, a bitter smile overflowed from the corner of my mouth. I didn't expect that the dream would be shattered in just 3 years. The next morning, I had packed up, but Rui hadn't gotten up yet. I knocked on the door for a long time before she opened the door barefoot in a burgundy suspender pajamas with an impatient look on her face. Are you so anxious? I looked at the watch. If it's too late, I have to make a new appointment. I paused. You have always said that you want a divorce, and now it can finally come true. Aren't you happy? I'm happy, he gritted his teeth and smiled. Of course I'm happy. It just so happens that Jung Hee Kun is back. You are quite sensible. Make room when you need to. I nodded. Then let's go. Along the way, none of us spoke. Rui and had a cold face all the time, but I was used to it. I don't know when it started, but we rarely talked. I liked talking to him at first. I liked him for so many years, and I had saved up a lot of things to say to him. I would send him messages when I saw a dog on the side of the road, heard a good song, or watched a good movie. But he seldom replied to me, and it was usually after a long time that he would reluctantly reply with a hum when he had something to talk to me about. I couldn't deceive myself that he was just born not talkative, because I had clearly seen that in the moments on chat records posted by Jung Hee Kun, Liu Rui seemed to have become a person I didn't know, so cute and adorable, and replied to all his topics in seconds. As time went by, I didn't post much. When we arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau, the eldest sister mediated for a long time. Did your relationship break down? Liu, are you? Why? Anne was about to speak, and I smiled and replied, no, we had a flash marriage, and there was no emotional foundation in the first place. Now it feels inappropriate and we can't go on. Liu, are you? Why? And glanced at me with a complicated expression. The elder sister tried to persuade me for a long time, but I blocked her back. Finally, she sighed and said, 1 month of cooling off period. You can go back and think about it. The young couple is a perfect match. The man is talented and the woman is beautiful. You young people are just impulsive. Go back and think about the good of each other. I thought about it. You are you. Yan is good looking. She was the school belle of our school in high school. He also has a good family background. His parents run a company and are not short of money. When we were still taking the bus in college, he drove a sports car and went out with Jang Hee-kun. He also has a good personality and has a lot of friends around him. There is never a dull moment. He is a very good person, but he is not good to me. When I left the Civil Affairs Bureau, the midday sun was so bright that I closed my eyes. Liu, are you? Yan thought I was crying, and finally showed a smug sneer. It's too late to regret now, Chen Yi-kun. He stood in front of me. He was obviously a head shorter than me, but he stood up with a condescending momentum. I will never go back. I didn't say anything and drove home with him. After returning home, Liu, are you? Yan lay on the sofa and habitually ordered me, pour me a glass of water. I ignored him and came out of the bedroom with my suitcase. Where are you going? He frowned. I found a new house and will move out today. After a pause, I continued. I put all the things you bought for me in the bedroom cabinet. Who the hell cares? Liu, are you? And suddenly became furious. He stood up suddenly, grabbed my suitcase, opened the door, and kicked it out with force. If you want to get out quickly. He lowered his eyebrows, and his eyes were full of pent-up anger. I looked at the box on the ground and was stunned for a moment. Then I stopped talking, walked over and picked up the box, and after entering the elevator, I never looked back at him again. The sight behind me was hot, as if it wanted to burn a hole in my back, but in the end it was completely cut off by the closed elevator door. I didn't want a house because I didn't want a house because anything to do with Liu Yan anymore. I don't want to see his things, smell his smell, or think about anything related to him. In fact, I had already thought about divorce. And doesn't like me, I always knew, but I always felt that after so many years, even if she had a heart of stone, she could be melted. After so many years, he still didn't love me, and my enthusiasm had run out. Only then did I understand that there are really people who are irreplaceable. Maybe no matter how hard I try, I can't see his smile when he faces Jung Hee-kun. I moved to a house I had rented before, and before I put my things away, Liu Yuan's mother called. Xiao Chum, have you bought stomach medicine for Yuan? I heard that his stomach hasn't been very good recently. I'm talking to you, Xiao Chum Tong. Where Yuan wanted to marry you, I didn't agree. Don't think I'm being harsh. How can you be worthy of our Yuan? You have to live in my house, which is far worse than the Xiaozhang house he lived in before. I just let you in because I saw that you were nice to a Yuan. But look at it. You too haven't had children in these years. I don't want to say this, but isn't it because of your health? I tell you, our Yuan can't be childless. If you have any problems, tell me as soon as possible. Our Yuan is still young now. Don't delay. I held the phone tightly. Yuan's family is rich, and his mother has always looked down on my family. At the beginning, my parents went there with a smile for me, and they could only flatter him. He has always disliked me in these years, and no matter how much I try to please him, it's useless. In fact, this is not the first time he has said this. Every time we meet, every time he calls me, he will repeat how I am able to get close to Yuan and how reluctant his family is. Yuan never speaks for me. He only tells me, isn't what his mother said right? He said that his mother has paid a lot to accept me. So I endured it every time, but this time I don't have to endure it anymore. I said expressionlessly, untie, we are divorced, and I have no obligation to buy medicine for him anymore. By the way, you didn't give birth to me or raise me, so you have no right to tell me what to do. If you don't like me, I suggest you poke your eyes out and stop looking at me. After saying that, I didn't care about the reaction on the other side. I hung up directly, unblocked the number. After thinking about it, I quit all the WeChat groups of Liu, Ruyuan's family, deleted and blocked all the contact information of his relatives, including his. After doing all this, I let out a long sigh and lay on the bed. Divorce is not as difficult as I thought. Ruyuan likes to threaten me with divorce every time we quarrel. She seems to have grasped that I will not leave her and uses my love to hurt me unscrupulously. As he expected, I was really scared when I heard him threaten me like this for the first time. He was right. I knelt in front of him like a dog and said that I was wrong and I would change. As long as he didn't leave me, I would do anything. I covered my eyes with my palms and felt a burst of wet heat. It's just that heartache can also be predicted. Over and over again, the pain became numb in the repetition. The chains that came out of the consequences left me with rotten flesh and blood, and finally only relief was left. Ruyuan didn't look for me again. He seemed to have completely disappeared from my life. Until 2 weeks later, a classmate suddenly came to me and asked me if I would go to the class reunion tomorrow night. I wanted to refuse. I really didn't want to see Ruyuan again. However, I changed my mind and thought that it was not me who was wrong, and I didn't need to avoid her, so I agreed to go back. At the class reunion, I was talking to other people when the door suddenly opened and Ruyuan stepped in. She was wearing a slim-fitting white satin dress, the sheen of which made her figure even more curvy. Her eyes were shining under the light, and she looked so beautiful. Jung Hee-kun, who was wearing a high-end suit, followed her. As soon as the two of them came in, everyone started to make a noise. Old Jung got back together with the school beauty. I said you couldn't break up. It was a big deal at that time. Come and sit here. That's right. I still remember that when Hee-kun went abroad later, Ruyuan almost drank herself into the hospital. You've been waiting for so many years, right? When Ruyuan and I got married, he said he didn't like formalities, so we didn't have a wedding. After marriage, he never posted anything about me on WeChat Moments and even kept his distance from me when we went out to a party together. It's funny to say that we have been married for 3 years, but except for one or two good friends, no one knows we are together. Ruyuan looked at me through the crowd, with a slightly mocking look in her eyes and a raised corner of her mouth. I didn't look at him and turned to talk to the person next to me. His face darkened, and he sat down with Jung Hee-kun. Why are you back, Hee-kun? I heard that you are doing very well abroad. Are you planning to come back to build the motherland? Someone joked. Jung Hee-kun raised a smug smile at the corner of his lips. I'm so old now, and I should think about getting married first. My family is urging me. He didn't mention any names, but everyone laughed. Yes, Ruyuan has been waiting for you all these years? Now that you are back, it's about time for good things to happen, right? Jung Hee-kun didn't say anything, but smiled in agreement. Ruyuan, you are really infatuated, but our old Jung is now a successful man, handsome. You two are a perfect match. But speaking of being handsome, I think Jin-kun is also handsome. In the past, people in our class often argued over who was the most handsome boy in the school, you or Hee-kun. Just as I was about to speak, Ruyuan sneered. What's the use of being handsome? Some people only think about love all day long, and they are stupid as housewives. No wonder no one loves them. My face turned pale, and I knew he was talking about me. He was very busy starting a business at the beginning. If I also started a business, it would be difficult for us to get along. For her, I rejected all offers and stayed at home to take care of her. Everyone fell silent, and then a classmate tried to smooth things over. You can't say that. Jin-kun also got offers from several big companies at the beginning, and his projects in college made millions. I remember that there was a company that offered him an annual salary of 3 million. But why didn't you go at that time? He asked curiously. Are you married? Ruyuan was stunned and turned to look at me. I lowered my eyelids and said quietly, Yes, I'm married, a scumbag. I rejected all opportunities for her just to take good care of her. But trash is trash. No matter how much you pay for her, it's useless. Fortunately, I cut my losses in time. The male classmate next to me felt the same way. Yes, some women are like that. When they get married, They can't wait to find an Annie to serve themselves, but in the end, they dislike men for not being able to go out to make money and call them losers and incompetent. All the good things in the relationship are hers. Bah, this kind of trash deserves to end up alone. The topic changed immediately, and the classmates began to discuss their own relationships and marriages, saying that they should not be love-brained, otherwise they would be finished if they met such scumbags. I have always been obedient to Liu Yuan, and this is the first time I satirized him. He looked at me straight and seemed a little confused. He wanted to say something, but his voice disappeared in the noisy clamor. The party was over, and I was about to drive away, but when I started the car, there was a knock on the window. A good friend of Liu Yuan looked at me with some embarrassment. Brother Khan, Yuan's stomach disease has recurred. Can you take her home? Among the people present, only one or two people know about our marriage. Where is Zhang Khan? He hesitated. He said he wanted to send our Yuan, but our Yuan didn't want to. Our Yuan listens to you the most. She continued, her eyes full of pleading. Brother Khan, just consider it as a favor for me this time. She is so painful that her face is pale now. I looked to the side, not far away. Liu Yuan was standing at the door of the hotel, the orange light sprinkled on her, and her eyes looked at me unmoved away, as if burned when she touched me. Zhang Hikun stood beside her, saying something, tried to put a suit jacket on her, but she was a little absent-minded, frowned and waved her hand. We are divorced. I retracted my gaze. I'm sorry, you can find someone else. Brother Khan, the woman wanted to say more. I nodded to her and turned the steering wheel and left. In the rearview mirror, I saw Yuan staring at me, slightly bowed, and her face was a little pale. I didn't look at her again and drove on the road. Even the people around him knew how much I cared about Liu Yuan. His stomach problems were caused by his drinking when Zhang Hikun left. In the past 3 years, I have changed from a lazy person who knows nothing about housework to a model good man who can cook soup and cook for him in different ways just to take better care of his body. I bought all his stomach medicines and then packed them into daily doses and stuffed them into his pockets. I called him to remind him to take medicines at a certain time. He forgot to bring medicines on a business trip and had stomach pains in the middle of the night. I rushed to catch the early morning flight in the cold winter to deliver them to him. But he was already asleep at that time, so I stood at the door and waited for several hours until I was covered with snow. But Liu Yuan woke up and opened the door, just impatiently saying, "Give me the medicine, you go quickly." It was on the way back that time that I had a car accident and lay in the hospital for half a month, and he never came to see me once. The past is like a worm biting the heart little by little, not heartbreaking, but delicate pain that cannot be ignored. Sometimes I don't understand myself. I am obviously not such a person. Why am I so humble to him? But when there is love, it is always unreasonable and can easily destroy a person's principles. With a smile from him, all my bottom lines collapsed and I let him torture me. But my love has been completely worn out. Qin Jingkan, who was full of him, has been worn to death by his own hands. The next day, when I was about to go out, I received a call from my parents. They said that Liu Yuan's parents were here and asked me to go home and talk. I had expected this day to come. Divorce is not a trivial matter. It is a matter of two families. Even if I don't want to go back, I have to make a break sooner or later. I haven't been back for just 2 weeks. This former home seems a little strange to me. As soon as I entered the door, I actually felt depressed. The parents of both parties were sitting on the sofa. Yuan sat on one side, touching her manicure, keeping her head down and not saying a word. Probably because she could see that I was serious this time, Liu Yuan's mother didn't scold me directly. She just frowned and said, "Xiaocheng, I know you young people all have tempers, but divorce is not a trivial matter. How can you just get a divorce?" I chuckled. "Auntie, you should ask your daughter. He was the one who proposed the divorce. If I remember correctly, this is the 13th time Liu Yuan has told me that he wants a divorce. Since he wants a divorce so much, I can only fulfill his wish." Liu Yuan's mother paused and forced a smile. Yuan is just a child with a temper. He hasn't grown up yet and is immature. Really? I said coldly. He is half a year older than me. Is there some problem with his development? A 25-year-old woman can give birth to children, but her brain is still immature. Liu Ruyan's mother was embarrassed and stopped talking. Liu Ruyan's father coughed and said, Xiaochen Liu Ruyan is an ignorant child. We, as his parents, apologize to you on his behalf. But problems in a marriage cannot be all faults of one party. It takes the hands to tango. Uncle, if I give you a slap in the face, do you think it will be loud enough? We have already divorced, so there is no need for me to swallow my anger anymore. I can just say whatever I want to say. I walked up to Liu Ruyan and said in a deep voice, Liu Ruyan, don't play dead. Tell your parents, what did I do in our marriage? You found out that your ex-boyfriend came back, and you said you didn't like a man like me who only knew how to make love and hang around you at home every day. But didn't your family say that you were in poor health and asked me to quit my job and take care of you at home? Over the years, I have been doing laundry and cooking at home, and cooking 3 meals a day for you in different ways. Because you have stomach problems, I, who love spicy food, have never cooked spicy dishes at home again. Ruyan, tell me honestly, is this my fault? Liu Ruyan remained silent, and his mother couldn't help but say, don't just talk about him. You haven't had children in all these years. She got pregnant before marriage, but we didn't want her to. In the end, the baby was not kept. Who knows if there's something wrong with your body? I turned around, suddenly unraised my voice. She got pregnant before marriage. But pregnancy is not my own business. Ruyan didn't want to, so how could I force her? Why did it become my fault? Didn't I take responsibility for her later? You said the baby was not kept. Why didn't you ask your daughter why? She had an abortion secretly without telling me. She didn't want the child at all. Whose fault is this? Mine? I didn't want to get angry, but the emotions that had been suppressed for too long poured out, and even I couldn't control myself. Is there anything wrong with my wholehearted dedication? Why does loving someone turn out like this? At the end, I almost collapsed and yelled, Liu Ruyan, tell me, what did I do wrong? My mother stood up and said in shock, didn't you say that you had a miscarriage because of the prenatal check up and the baby's health was not good? I lowered my head and smiled bitterly. I was afraid that you would scold. My mother's eyes were red, and she asked Liu Ruyan in a trembling voice, Ruyan, our family has not treated you badly over the years. Ask yourself, we really treat you as our daughter. Your mother asked for a betrothal gift of 880,000 yuan, but you didn't let her hold the wedding. Your family didn't like Yikan in every way, but we didn't say anything. We know that Yikan likes you and just hopes that you two will be fine. Is this how you treat him? The blood on you, Ruyan's face faded in an instant. I'm sorry, Mom. Don't call me Mom. I'm not your mom. My mother shouted loudly, her eyes full of anger. My father also looked ugly, lowered his head and clenched his fist. Liu Ruyan, I don't know what you mean by calling your parents and my parents here, but I have done nothing to let you down over the years. I don't want to make things too embarrassing, so let's part ways in peace. I said tiredly. Liu Ruyan raised her head. Her eyes were filled with complex emotions. Her lips moved, and after a long time she whispered, You are not wrong. It is my fault that we have come to this point. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I just... Give me a chance to make it up to you. I won't do this again. A hint of sarcasm appeared in my eyes. Of course you didn't mean it. You just enjoy my kindness while despising me. You Ruyan. Sometimes I really can't understand. You haven't given me anything, and you have no right to decide anything for me. You just rely on my love for me and keep asking for things from me. But even if I dig out my heart and give it to you, you will only despise the bloody smell. I treat you well only because I love you, but you use my love to hurt me over and over again, and you are so condescending. I moved in front of him and whispered, Who the hell are you, Liu Ruyan? What gives you the right? Liu Ruyan's eyes trembled, and her face was as pale as if she had a serious illness. Facing my questioning, she couldn't say a word, as if my words pierced her heart like 1,000 arrows. She was actually at a disadvantage in front of me for the first time, and her thin but tough back was bent inch by inch. Jang Hee-kun is back. You clearly told me that you would not let him into the company, and then you kept him. Ann. You weren't faithful to your marriage. After breaking your promise, you pushed everything on me, saying that I only had love in my mind. Now is the perfect time. I will help you. And looked up eagerly. I have nothing to do with Jang Hee-kun. We are just colleagues. I mocked him. Do you dare to say that you don't have the intention to rekindle the old love? Do ordinary colleagues need to eat together every day and hold their mobile phones to send messages? Yan, do you think that others are fools and are willing to be fooled by you? Yan opened her mouth but didn't say anything. I stood up and said silently, I have finished what I want to say. I hope you don't bother me again. A second before I walked out of the house, and stopped me. Her voice trembled, like a person who had been in a set for a long time and was cut out for the first time and finally saw herself clearly. Chen Jing-kun, if I am willing to change, is there still a chance for us? I looked back at him and his eyes were a little panicked. Yan has always been arrogant, spoiled, and dismissive in front of me. In this relationship, he is always the superior, and I have never seen him so panicked. It's too late. I whispered and then closed the door. After leaving Yan, I started to submit resumes and plan to go out to work. Fortunately, I graduated not too long ago, and the original project was good enough, and there are still many companies scrambling for it. In his eyes, I am probably useless, not even as good as Jang Hee-kun's heels. So in this relationship, I keep falling into self-doubt. I live in pain every day, asking myself if I am really that bad. But now I realize that he can't decide me. Going home at night, I cooked a lot of dishes for myself and planned to reward myself. In a few days, the cooling off period will be over, and I can completely get out of this relationship. It was a phone call that interrupted my good mood. Jang Hee-kun's voice was a little distorted on the phone. Let's talk. I looked at the chopsticks in my hand, a little impatient. I have nothing to talk to you about. You don't want me to come to you all the time, right? Some things are better to talk about. It was obviously him who came to me, but his attitude was very arrogant. I simply hung up the phone. When he called again the next day, his attitude was much better. I just want to communicate with you about something. Just 1 hour. I won't waste your time. I didn't want to go, and I was afraid that he would bother me every day, so I found a time to meet with him. Jang Hee-kun got straight to the point. I don't want you to contact Yan anymore. Since you broke up, you should stop having any contact. I was the first one to be with him. We had a good relationship. If you hadn't interfered, we might have reunited long ago. Now that you are divorced, I don't want you to influence him anymore. I looked at this man. He was wearing a custom-made Italian suit with his hair combed back. He was handsome and capable. No wonder and liked him for so many years. Do you think I interfered? I sneered. What did I interfere with? You broke up, and then we got together. Is this also considered interference? And won't marry me. Can I put a knife on his neck and force him to be with me? Why don't you go back and ask him? As for what you said about me looking for him, I put down the coffee, looked at Jang Hee-kun and said disapprovingly, don't worry if you like him, just look at him carefully. I am no longer interested in this woman. Jang Hee-kun wanted to say more, but suddenly opened his eyes wide. And hurriedly walked over to me, pulled him up, and said angrily, are you sick? Who told you to go to him? Jang Hee-kun's face darkened. What's wrong with me looking for him? You are about to get divorced. Why are you still thinking about him? It was you who told me that he has a boring personality and only revolves around you, and you are annoyed with him. And turned her head and looked at me. I hugged my arms inferently. I have heard these words too many times, and now they don't hurt me anymore. And gritted her teeth. Are you crazy? It's none of your business what happens between him and me. We haven't got the marriage certificate yet, and we haven't divorced yet. Jang Hee-kun looked at her in shock. It was obvious that we were together first, and you said you couldn't forget me, right? And have you forgotten our past? The past is over, and said coldly. I have a husband, and I have nothing to do with you. He stared at Jang He-kun and said word by word, I warn you, don't come to him again, otherwise I will be rude to you. Jang He-kun's face was so ugly that it was scary. He stared at Liu Ruyan for a long time, and finally forced a miserable smile. Liu Ruyan, you are so cruel. He suddenly shook his hand away and walked out of the cafe quickly with a somewhat embarrassed back. Ruyan pulled me out of the coffee shop. He was silent for a while and then said, I'm sorry. You're right. At the beginning, I did want to get back together with Jang Yi-kun. I was too young at that time, and I was too unwilling to be dumped. So after he came back, I always wanted him to see how successful I am now and make him regret it. I mistook this obsession for love. He rubbed his face and whispered, Now I understand that I actually stopped loving him a long time ago. I don't know when it started snowing, and the fluttering snowflakes fell on Ryan's shoulders, but he didn't notice it. He just smiled bitterly after you said that day. I went home and thought about it for a long time. I found that I was really nothing. I felt that you couldn't live without me and you couldn't live without me, so I took advantage of your love for me to hurt you unscrupulously and even looked down on you. In fact, now think about it, you're just one person. You love openly and wholeheartedly. Your love is noble, and I am the most despicable person. The street lights in the distance lit up, and a snowflake fell on her eyelashes and quickly turned into crystal drops of water. She lowered her voice after leaving home. No one made soup for me when I had a stomachache. I wanted to take medicine but couldn't find it. I wanted to buy it but found that I didn't even know the name of the medicine. Now I know that it's not you who can't leave me, but me who can't leave you. I'm absent my every day. I don't like this feeling of confusion, but I really don't know what to do. The sheets are cold, and I'm scared of the cold. Ruyan covered her face and laughed miserably, saying hoarsely, It turns out that I've fallen in love with you a long time ago. I was a little surprised by how much he said. When she was with me, Ruyan was always reluctant to respond, leaving me to do my one-man show. It turned out that he could say so much, but it just came at the wrong time, and I didn't want to listen anymore. I reached out to catch a piece of snow, and it melted coolly in my palm. Ruyan, you don't love me. You just feel uncomfortable when the people who have always been around you leave, and you are just afraid that there will be no one who loves you like I do. I turned to leave, but Ruyan grabbed me. She bowed slightly, her expression almost humble. Jing-kun, please. Ruyan, have never begged anyone in my life, but I beg you to give me another chance, okay? I was wrong before. I didn't know you were so important to me. I already regret it. I pulled his hand away and interrupted him. Ruyan, no one will wait for you here. Not your parents, they only have you as a daughter, but for me, there are many women. Ruyan stood there for a long time. She shouted at me loudly with a bit of heartbreak. Chen Jing-kun. In the snow, she was wearing thin clothes, and her eyes gradually turned red. I won't get a divorce. I turned back and said calmly, Then I will file for divorce. Ruyan, you are too ugly. I want to be like a dog. He seemed to be suddenly strangled by the neck. Staring at me steadily, his expression was sad and regretful, and a tear suddenly fell from his eye socket. This is what he said to me when we divorced, and now I am returning it. I finally understood him. It turns out that when you don't love someone, you can easily blurt out hurtful words. He finally regretted it, but unfortunately the right answer came too late and became wrong. Jang Yi-kun didn't gain a firm foothold in the Yu family's company. He was found to have falsified his resume. It turned out that he had only interviewed on Wall Street and didn't pass it at all. The so-called experience at Morgan Stanley was also fake. The reason was that he took a project and did it in a mess. He didn't even figure out the decimal point on the proposal, which caused the company to suffer huge losses. The deputy manager of the company felt something was wrong and went to check Jang Hee-kun. As a result, he found out that he was just bragging because of Ruyan's relationship. Now the matter got out of hand, and Jang Hee-kun had to roll out of the company in disgrace. His reputation was ruined, and he couldn't find a job in the industry anymore, so he had to return to his hometown in another place. Maybe it was a matter of luck, and I was doing well in the workplace. There is a company with a very good reputation in the industry. The headhunter found me and directly gave me the position of vice president. I plan to work for a few years, accumulate some experience, and then start my own business. I am doing well here, but Liu Ruyan is not doing so well. Liu Ruyan rank again and was admitted to the hospital. His friend called me and said anxiously, Brother Feng, please come and see her. Ruyan has been drinking all night, and no matter how we persuade her, it doesn't work. Can you please come and see her? I paused. I'm sorry, I have a meeting today and I don't have time. She kept calling your name, crying and saying sorry to you. His friend said indignantly, he really loves you. How can you be so heartless? I sneered. I was delivering medicine to him. When he had a car accident, he was flirting with Zhang Hekan via video. I called him several times, but he refused to answer. In the end, I called 120 and saved my life. The doctor said that if he went a little later, he might not be able to save her. The broken ribs almost penetrated his lungs. But when Yuai knew about it, she just said lightly, I know. It was at that time that the last bit of love I had for him died. I finally realized that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't warm his heart of stone. When it comes to ruthlessness, I can only admit defeat to him. I clenched my fists and hung up the phone without saying a word. The love that I once longed for after a long time, I found that it was out of season and I didn't want it at all. His parents changed their number and called me again. Yuan's mother had long lost her original strength and cried and begged me, Xiaoqun, Yuan really likes you. We were wrong before. Can we compensate you in the future? We will return the wedding gift to you. Whatever you say, we will never talk back. Just come and see Yuan. She has severe gastric bleeding. When she fainted, she kept muttering your name and crying breathlessly. I used to feel heartbroken when I heard that Liu Ruyan had stomachic, but now I just feel annoyed. I hung up the phone, picked up the meeting materials, and went into the meeting room. What did you do before? Now, even if he drinks himself to death, I won't shed a tear for him. I thought Liu Ruyan was so ill that he might not be able to get married with me, but I didn't expect that he would come 3 days later. He looked pale and haggard, and he had lost a lot of weight. He looked at me and seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything. He didn't pester me anymore, but just signed a new agreement. All the property belonged to me, and he left the house with nothing. Just give me a chance to atone for my sins so that I can have the face to pursue you again. He smiled bitterly. I shook my head and sighed softly. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. I also wanted to live happily with you once. I have tried my best to love this person. I threw everything I had and presented it to him, just begging him to look at me. I have tried hard, but now I didn't get the result I wanted. Although I feel sorry, I don't regret it. Liu Ruyan lowered his head for a long time and said softly, I am too stupid. I could have been happy once, but it's a pity that I always know how to cherish when I lose something. In the future, he said cautiously, can I contact you again? As if he was afraid that I would annoy him, he quickly added, no, I always bother you, just to give me a chance to let me know whether you are doing well or not. No need. I smiled at him. The past is over. We should all move forward. I just tidied up his scattered hair at the temples for the last time. When you meet someone who loves you in the future, don't treat them like this to me. There is nothing wrong with loving someone, and the person who is loved should not trample on the hearts of others, because love is very precious and it is hard to say when it will disappear. Liu Ruyan's expression was very ugly, as if what I said just now turned into a knife and stabbed him hard. I couldn't see his expression clearly. I could only hear his voice with a slight tremor of pain, choking and sobbing. Okay. Then goodbye. I wish you happiness. I waved goodbye to him. He suddenly called me like he collapsed. Jen Jingkun, I can't be happy without you. I suppressed the bitterness in my heart, didn't look back, and strode into the sunshine. When I love someone, I do it vigorously and openly, giving away everything I have. When I don't love, I will never look back. Everything in the past has disappeared. I will not look back, but will continue to move forward. That's it. Farewell, Liu Yuan.